Okay guys, we are going to use the 12-inch Meade Light Bridge Dobsonian again. So it is another clear night, Mars, and all the way there is Jupiter. This time I'm not even putting the blocker because it doesn't even work anyway, so who cares. But anyway, we are going to go try for M35, which is a really rich star cluster. I'm going to try to show you in the eyepiece, and that's it. Let's get going, and I'll see you guys after. Which is a very bright cluster. You have to find, it's a winter constellation, or it's a winter object. So first you have to find Gemini, Castor and Pollux, and it's supposed to look like two humans, and there's the legs. But anyway, if we zoom in over here, so it's kind of like it curves up a little, and you should be able to see this one, 2.9 magnitude, 3.3, and then this one might be dim. So just so you guys know, in the city, I would say you probably, if it's a white big city zone, you probably will see up to maybe maximum magnitude 4. So 4 means dim, and brighter, like 1 is brighter. So I don't know if you're going to see that star, but you should be able to just about see these two. Definitely you'll see these two. A 1.2 magnitude, 1.6. So you definitely will see these two like that. And then you will see these two. This one might be a tad dim. If there's street lights, it might be a little hard. But if there are no street lights shining in your eye, then you just put your pointer over here. Let me show you with the pointer. M35 might need like lower power. What I would probably use on this guy is probably like a 2-inch 32 millimeter eyepiece. You guys can try to use 1.25 inch 32 millimeter eyepiece. If you don't have one, you should get a 32 millimeter in an 1.25 inch format. That's about the widest field of view and low power that you can get in an 1.25 inch format. So for you guys that don't have that eyepiece, you should get it. It's not that much. You could probably find it new, like 40 to 50 bucks. Okay guys, here's M35. It is actually a big cluster, so I'm not even sure with an 1.25 inch if I'm capturing it. It looks better in a 2-inch eyepiece, like 32 millimeter. And let me see if I can get the exposure better. Okay, you guys tell me how that looks. Let me just move it around a tiny. Let me put on my gloves. Sorry, it's cold outside. So it's a little bit big of a cluster. 1.25 inch 32 is, well, the cell phone display is also small too. So I think that looks okay-ish. Okay, so there's M35. It's a really nice cluster. Let me see if I can take a couple pictures and get it even better. Hey guys, for you guys that have binoculars, look in the constellation Taurus. Again, it's right here. That's the horn. And right over here is a star cluster called the Hyades star cluster. It is huge. You will not be able to see it in a telescope. It's too powerful. So this cluster here, most people, because it's so dispersed or so huge, don't even know it's a cluster. So it's very close to the Pleiades star cluster. And if you keep following that line, it goes to the belt stars of Orion. So binoculars only. Or if you have a finder scope, like an 8x50 finder scope or a 9x50 finder scope, or binoculars. The only type of telescopes that you will be able to see it, this is an 80 millimeter f5 refractor, or a 102 f5 refractor, because these are really wide field refractors. So that's probably about the only telescope besides binoculars and finder scopes that you can see it in. Okay, so for the Hyades star cluster, I am going to use this 80 millimeter, not the 12-inch, because it's just too powerful. In fact, almost, I would say, I don't know, 98% of every telescope would be too powerful for the Hyades, as well as the Pleiades star cluster. So let's give this a go and see how it is. Okay guys, so here is the Hyades star cluster, and I almost still can't fit it in this telescope. I believe the power is 12.5 power. Most telescopes cannot go that low. If we go here to there's a little bit more of it. And if we go over here, that's the bright star in the Taurus constellation. The name is hard, Aldebaran, I think it's pronounced. But anyway, here is the star cluster. So again, you need like no more than 10 power, 8 power for this cluster. Let's see if I can get a couple shots of it. Anyway, guys, that's it for me for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We tried the Hyades star cluster today, and that guy over there, which is an 80 millimeter f5 refractor, and we looked at the M35, which is a nice cluster that you could even see in the city, and it's pretty packed and dense. So there's another 2 clusters for you guys. If you know anybody that wants to get into astronomy, that type of thing, send them my links. If you guys are on the forums and somebody maybe talks about city observing, urban observing. Now, one more thing for you guys. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed my first year videos was mostly reviews and comparisons. And then slowly I went to showing you guys out here what I see in the eyepiece for several months, but I did not show you guys in the eyepiece. That was after, I did that after, showing you guys how maybe the planets are looking, that type of thing. And now I am showing you guys deep sky objects with only a cell phone, with all these street lights type of thing. So if I can do it from a white zone with all these street lights, you guys can do it with something even smaller. Even if you're in a white zone, but you do not have all these street lights and stuff like that, you could probably use about an 8 to 10 inch, which will be probably the same as I'm using because of all the ambient light pollution that I'm getting. So sometimes when you do city astronomy, you need to go a bit bigger, but it can be done. But even if you have smaller refractors, reflectors, that type of thing, there are enough things that you can observe in the city. The hardest thing is you need to know where to find this stuff. This is where you need a good map chart. If you want to do an app on your phone, that's fine too. You need a good finder scope. I always recommend the Telrad and the Rigel finder scope because they're just 2 of the best. They make pointing. I've done a couple videos on them. One is called the best to worst finder scopes, and then I talk about why the Telrad, Rigel are the 2 best. And I actually try to show you indoors, has a bullseye, and unless you try it, then you're not going to know. Because especially in the city, there isn't that many bright stars for you to find the constellations and then to star hop or to kind of find the objects. Anyway, guys, we'll talk soon. Like, comment, subscribe. Why not you? Why not me?